Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to, today is the 13th, January 13th, the Tuesday, our first meeting of 2026. There's Michael. Hi, Michael. So, oh, and Lauren is here now. So we are, all of the commissioners are here. Is that correct? Are we missing anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Jane.
No, we're all here. Jane's here. Okay. Hi, everybody. So welcome and to people not on the commission as well. And the first thing we're going to do is to approve or disapprove the December 12th, 2025 minutes. Do I have a motion to approve them?
I'm happy to make that motion, Clara. Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Do I have a second on the approval of the
I'll
minutes?
second it.
Thank you. Lauren Bernard seconded it. And I will call roll as I see you on my screen. Deborah.
Yes.
Carol.
Yes.
Jane.
Yes.
Teresa.
Yes.
Thank you. Michael.
Yes.
And Lauren.
Yes.
And I vote, the chair votes aye. So that they passed. And the next thing, I think I should read the following announcement, just so everyone understands. At the beginning of each Park and Recreation Commission meeting, there is an opportunity for public comment related to any park or recreation topic. These comments should address a topic not included on the agenda or those items on the agenda that do not have public comment included as part of the agenda item. You will have a maximum of 2 minutes to share your comments. If you do not have the opportunity to speak during the allotted time, please submit your comments in writing to the Park and Recreation Commission. And our email is Park and Rec Commission, all one word, Park and Rec Commission @brooklinema.gov. Thank you. And so going now to the public comment on matters not included on the agenda. Do we have anyone attending? Jessica, I don't see any hands raised. Do you? Okay. So we'll go to the next item. And I think Tim will take this one. This is the vote on fee increases for Brookline Recreation Program as presented at our December 9th meeting.
Yep. Good evening, everybody. Good to see you all. Happy New Year. I'm just going to share my screen real quick. Actually, before I do that, so we got a hand up from Matt. Is that for public comment?
Matt, you're muted.
There we go. Sorry, I'm slow with the technology, so slow with the raised hand. Yeah, I did intend to just use the public comment to raise an issue.
Okay.
Okay.
You have 2 minutes.
Got it. Yeah, I'm sure I can do that. It's just really, and Claire, I know you're probably the only person that dates back to when this recycled issue that I'm about to raise came before the commission, and it has to do with the sort of sports lighting of Pierce basketball court, which makes up part of Pierce Park overall. And so recycling the issue a little bit, the park is being taken apart, as part of the construction of the school. And it seems like it's a great opportunity to revisit the sports lighting issue. Several years ago, it was all taken up by the commission, and it was determined to do what was initially a test there to put lights up on that basketball court. I think the test had gone excellently, and it was a great decision on the part of the commission to do that years ago. I don't know that any problems have ever resulted, and lots of good community activities happened at night during summer times when the lights were active. They're archaic, however, the lighting situation as it currently is. It's telephone poles that are being used for the lighting, and it's really substandard and has had, frequent issues of, just going off and on and not working properly. So I'm hoping just to raise this, to bring it, to put it on the radar of the commission. And I have had some email contact with Alexandra, and she has shared that with, I guess, the new director of parks, Miley. So, to try to get a sense of like how that can be done, whether it's using the CIP process or coming before the commission to somehow work it into the renovation that'll ultimately happen there. But for tonight, I really just wanted to get it on the radar of the commission that, sports lighting is very much something that the neighbors and many people in that immediate area have long supported. And there's a whole, Claire, you might remember that, there's quite a few people that are very supportive of the idea. It's gone really well. And even to the point where it was expanded over to Cypress Street. The Cypress Street basketball park, I think, is kind of a model now. And that caliber of lighting too, I think, is a really good example of how it can go. So tonight, I just wanted to ask, that the commissioners become aware of that issue, that there's a lot of strong support in the community to, once the basketball court is renovated, to get it sort of up to par with really good sports lighting rather than what's been there. And I think it'll be excellent for the community. What I'll do, just one last quick thing, I'll stay in touch with Miley to find out kind of what she believes is sort of the best way to kind of be pursuing this. And then, if it can be helpful to have a lot of community supporters to back it up, whether at a meeting or otherwise, I'll be happy to keep the neighbors informed and up to speed on things.
Thank you for your comments, Matt. Millie, do you want to talk to Matt after, later, or do you want to say anything now, or
We
how do you
can
want to do this?
coordinate offline, Matt. Thank you for
Sure.
the comment.
Will do.
Thank you, Matt. So now we're back to Tim to talk about the fee increases.
Great, thank you. Good evening, everybody, again. So just a recap, last month's meeting, we had a presentation about the proposed fee increases for this calendar year for specific programs. This is something that we do every year, kind of targeted increases to give us an opportunity to reflect on the previous year where we had some shortcomings and plan accordingly for where we can make up some short ground, as we are a revolving account and we need to stay self-supporting. So I'm just going to share my screen real quick of kind of a cumulative sheet so we can understand again what we're voting on. I'll just run through them real quick, not a full presentation, but again, just a summary. The first set of fee increases being the aquatic center, the focus being those private swim lessons.
Can you make it a little larger?
Of course. Whoop, too big.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. So the first set being the aquatic center, the focus being the private swim lessons for a relatively substantial increase. However, that gets us up to close to industry standard, but still below what is the average, still keeping it accessible. And then just $1 increase on our group lessons. For our athletics, has been planned for years, just gradual increases again to align ourselves with industry standard, and again to cover our fees and beyond with the rec department. So with soccer, flag football, rec league basketball, lacrosse, and then pickleball, minor increases going on there. And then nature camp and summer camp being the last two. Again, planned increases year over year. This really comes down to staff costs that we're seeing on the increase, as well as supplies year over year. So small increases to nature camp, $50 across the board, with the exception of our Acorns program, which is our youngest program, that being a higher increase, but that is also reflected that is now a 3-week program, not a 2-week program, so priced accordingly. And then our day camp pricing going up $25, and then $50 for the Kennedy program. Again, this is reflecting of our anticipated staffing models, with the increase of staffing, with the increase of salaries, and then the introduction of extended day services, which is $20 a day. So just a quick recap of that. But again, this is, all to make sure that we are covering our costs, making sure that we are being financially responsible as it comes to being self-supporting within the department, but just looking for a positive vote on that. But before we do that, if anybody has any last minute questions, I'm happy to answer. Carol.
Hi,
Carol-
my interest is in that dramatic increase in the private lessons.
Mhm.
Does this reflect how much private lessons cost elsewhere, or is it?
Correct.
Pardon?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yes, that's very reflective of what we're seeing in the private sector and public, but also we're still staying well below from what we're seeing in those sectors as well. So still affordable as we compare it to other towns and other private organizations, but reflecting again, trying to get it up to the kind of the industry standard of it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I don't see
Oops, I did.
I don't see any other hands for questions or comments. Thank you.
Yep.
And we went through this at our January meeting, and as we always try to do, we wait a meeting to vote on things. So that's what we're doing now. So do I have a motion to approve the fees as presented going forward, as presented by Tim?
So moved.
I couldn't
Second.
see who said, I'm sorry.
Lauren.
Carol.
Oh, Carol moved and Lauren seconded?
Correct.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to call you as I see you on the screen. Debbie,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. So that was unanimous. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
for
And if
the quick review.
Yeah, and if I may, this is my short site. We also presented on the financial aid update last month as well. Unfortunately, that didn't make it to the agenda. So are we comfortable voting on that tonight, or do we want to push that to next month so we can post it?
I thought if we were going to vote, doesn't it have to be in the minutes so the
I
public
think it
knows?
does. Mhm.
That's fine.
So,
So-
I mean, I'd love to vote on it tonight, but I don't think we can. So,
I understand. Totally fine. We'll look to February for that.
okay. And that doesn't hinder you and
No, we'll be
Okay.
okay. Yep,
Okay.
we'll be okay.
terrific. All right. We have a presentation on the Evelyn Crane Aquatic Center dehumidification project.
Yep. I'm just going to
That's
promote.
Tim again.
Yep. And then Amanda Wong, our aquatics director, is here as well.
Yeah.
Jess, if you don't mind, can you promote her to a co-host so she can join?
Yep, all set.
All right. Amanda, you there? There she is.
Hi, Amanda.
So I asked Amanda to join us today because she can speak really. So let me back up. So we're very excited to share, and I shared it last month, that the Aquatic Center is back open. We underwent a substantial renovation to the facility as it relates to the replacement of the dehumidification system. And that went swimmingly, no pun intended, as you would imagine. But also we had this tremendous opportunity of a closure to take care of a lot of the interior issues and things that we've been looking at for quite some time. So I asked Amanda to come. We have a little kind of a photo presentation that Amanda, I'll run through on my side. If you just want to talk to everything. And then at the end, if anybody has any questions, obviously we are happy to answer. So give me, Amanda, if you just want to introduce yourself, and then we'll get rolling.
Of course. Thank you to the commission for having me on tonight. My name is Amanda Wong. I am the aquatics director at the Evelyn Crane Aquatic Center for Brookline Recreation.
Right. There we go. All right. So here we go. All right, Amanda, can you see that?
Not yet.
Whoop.
There it is.
All right.
Okay. So as you all know, as Tim mentioned, we've been closed for the past 2 months, about 8 weeks, really for the replacement of our dehumidifier. It was a failing system in our facility that we were very much looking forward to replace. And as Tim noted, we did a lot of side projects in conjunction with this dehumidifier project as the facility was closed. So it gave us an opportunity to do some additional projects as well. So we'll go through the slideshow, just showing you some pictures and talking about some of the projects that we were able to complete during this closure. The picture here in front of you is our old dehumidifier. It sits on top of, or it was sitting on top of the roof of the pool. You can see how big this piece of machinery is in relation to kind of that background. You see the trees in the background. It's almost the size of almost like a little mini storage tank that's sitting on top of the roof that had to come off of our roof to get a new one on. Next slide. Here it is on the ground level, just giving you a comparison of a person standing next to it just to see how large that piece of equipment was. And there it is on the right, that missing hole is where that dehumidifier came out of. It did take a giant crane. If anyone lives around the pool area, Tappan Street was closed on Veterans Day to get a crane in so they can maneuver and take this piece of equipment off of the roof that you can see there on the right. Next slide. Here's a new dehumidifier going onto the roof. As you can see, it's a little bit larger footprint than the old one that came down. This one has little compartments in each one. I called it like a little office space. Each of these little compartments are for a different functionality within the dehumidifier. I know some pieces of it, but in regards to the details, that does go over my head. But there's a fan room. There's different compressors in there, but different pieces of it that help monitor the air pressure, the circulation, the humidity that's within the pool, and helps to recycle that air and the water back into the pool. With the process of the new dehumidifier on the roof, it did mean we had to do some renovations down in the basement as well. This is the new dehumidifier pump. So the moisture or the humidity that comes out of the air gets sucked into this dehumidifier. It goes into this pump that helps to recycle that water back into the pool. Previously, with our old dehumidifier, it was not recycling the water, and we were losing almost 3,000 gallons of water per day. So we were refilling the pool daily. Hopefully with this new dehumidifier that's going to be recycling the water from the air, it should be putting that back into our system, and we will no longer have to fill the pools as often. In the process, the buildings department also helped set up our pools with new boiler systems to keep our pools heated. So on the left is the new boiler for System B. I can't even tell you how old the old system used to be, but it used to sit on the floor, and now it's this smaller, more compact elevated system to help keep the System B, our shallow pool, up at about 86, 87 degrees. And System A, our lap and dive well, also got a new boiler. We also replaced the piping that's under the gallery. So you can see on the left side here, that's the old existing pipe. Due to the dehumidifier not functioning properly, we were building a lot of chloramines in the area, and what it was doing was actually eating away at the copper pipes, and it would turn those pipes green. Here on the right, you can see all those pipes that have been replaced. In that process, we also removed an old boiler that used to be sitting there that was no longer functioning. So all that new copper piping is brand new. Helped clean up that area a little bit more, just to give us a little bit more space underneath. During the closure, we drained all 3 pools, did a full clean. Here's the lap pool from an aerial view, and also from right on the pool deck, just looking in. You can see that it's white tiles, nice and shiny, very well cleaned up by Lloyd, our full-time custodian. We did a full acid wash on all 3 pools. Also changed out all the filter covers in the facility as well. So here's our lap pool. Here's our shallow pool. And then the last one is our dive well. There's Lloyd and our new maintenance person, Mark, doing last minute cleaning in there before we got into the pool and started filling it with fresh, clean water. While the dive well was empty, we did take the opportunity to repair that wall. Many years ago, there used to be a bench that sat on this wall, and it had been removed long before I came back. So more than 5 years ago, that bench that used to sit on this wall came out. And I do believe some water had started getting into that space. You can see that the wall is starting to bow on that top left picture. You can see we've used some tape to help kind of secure pieces of the wall back on previously. And you could start seeing the cracks in the tiles as you see here on the right. And so we took the opportunity to kind of take away that tile, get inside that wall, ensure that it was water sealed, watertight, so that it wouldn't leak in, and put a whole new surface right on there. And it's like a granite, as you can see, a granite top that's right on that dive well. We also did some lobby updates. We tried to give the lobby a little bit of a facelift here. We brightened it up by changing up the colors a little bit more. We picked a little sky blue that's part of our new color palette of our new logo. We also moved the Evelyn Corain that used to sit up top. It now sits right on that welcome center desk when you come in. And we're hoping to take advantage of doing some signage, digital signage right above the lobby there. So we're working on with IT on getting that set up. We also have a new logo decal on that white wall that's right by the windows to the pool. So we're excited that we can have that logo bright and in front of us. I don't think we have a picture of it, but we also have a rug right at the main entrance when you come in. That has, as you can see it right there on the terrazzo floor picture. We have a new rug with the logo on it as well when you come in. We were able to, as you can see, lobby terrazzo floor. We did a full stripping, taking all the wax off of that terrazzo, doing a whole brand new seal on that floor. So it's nice and shiny now. I believe we got okay, we'll do this one first. Conference room. Some of you may have seen before we closed for the renovations, we got these new storefront doors installed into this kind of mutual hallway area that kind of connects the pool with 66 Tappan. We've turned it into a little conference room space. So we've got a TV in there. We are going to get some desks and tables and chairs in there. We can utilize this room for conferences, meetings. We're hoping to run our lifeguard training classes and water safety instructor dryland portion of the classes in this new room. So now that we have that new room, we got some ventilation set up in there. So fully functioning space now where we can have controlled air temperatures. Up on the ceiling, we replaced the ceiling tiles in the lobby and in the locker rooms. We had some old tiles that were starting to crumble, starting to fall. So we went through and we did replace replace most of the ceiling tiles. Any of them that didn't look so great, those came down and new ones went up. We also had the buildings department come in and put a new ADA motionless button. So you can just go up and wave at the buttons now, no longer required to manually push a button and have contact in order to get the door open. So new buttons have been installed. New emergency exit signs and lights have also been installed around the facility. Our water bottle refill station was updated and recessed into the wall, so that hallway when you check in at the front desk to walk towards the back of the building, towards the locker rooms, it's a little bit of a wider path now that it's recessed into the wall. That hallway terrazzo, we continued into this area here and added a non-slip surface. So when we have swimmers that come out to refill their water bottles, or sometimes they're walking through this hallway into the locker rooms, when water builds up, it becomes very slippery on that terrazzo floor. So we've added this surface, this grit on the surface of the terrazzo, which helps to make it non-slip. We've also updated our signs. So we added new language access signs throughout the facility, ensured that they were having this contrasting color of white on blue and including Braille on some of the signs. We are in the process of installing a new speaker system. So we have new speakers that are set up in the locker rooms, male and female. We're working on getting the speakers finalized and set up on the pool deck. This will help at the end of the evening when we're closing the facility, or even emergency situations. This will be an intercom system that we can use with our desk phones and to be able to make announcements throughout the pool facility, whether it's just into the locker room, to the pool, or to both. We did a lot of painting. The hallways got painted. As you can see, it used to have this orange yellow tiled color. We did repaint all of that, and now we've got this beautiful white wall all through our hallways, in the lobby area, and then in part of the locker rooms as well. Also in the locker rooms, we did replace the pedestals. So in the female locker room, you can see on the left, we had some of them that were starting to disintegrate and break down. So we replaced all of the pedestals. That's in the female locker room and all the changing stalls. We also replaced the pedestals in the male locker room in the shower area. In the locker rooms, we also worked on removing all of the rust that was building up on the lockers, especially the lockers that were on the bottom. A lot of the water just sat at the bottom and started eating away at those lockers. So we had someone come in and take care of that, kind of de-rust and repaint the bottom of all of those lockers. And we also took care of the window frame that's out on the pool deck. Same thing, we used to hold kickboards out there, so a lot of water was sitting on that nettle. And we had someone come in, take away the rust, and repaint that whole area for us. Along with painting the hallways and lobby, we also had our gallery repainted. So when you come in, it's this brighter blue that's on there now. The railings have been repainted, and also the bench. We've also sanded and refinished all of the benches. We ensured that caution tape, this black and yellow marking, was placed on all of the stairs. So this is in the lobby. The stairs going up into the lobby area, and also the stairs that come down. If you've been to our facility, you know that our seating area can be fairly steep. So we want to make sure that people are aware that the steps are going down, and that they be cautious going down. This black and yellow strip is also in our shower areas in both the male and female locker room, where there's a slight step down as well. We updated and installed a new emergency eye wash and shower station off the pool deck. We repaired some of the pool lights that were out. So we have our bright lights back on, and we installed some new pool flags. We made sure while we were closed, we got up there and updated all of our dolphin records. So if you know of anyone that has a record, they're up on the wall. As I noted before, new filter covers for the pools. So you can see brand new filter covers. The circle ones are actually a little bit bigger than our previously existing ones as well, but those are all secured and running smoothly. We also ensured that we added new, updated and cleaned up our pool markers along the pool area. So including the no diving signs, any depth markers, all of those around the pool area have been replaced. Within the pools, we added some new eye hooks. This is where we can put lane line dividers in the dive well in the shallow pool to separate certain programs or lessons if we need to. And we also put an anti-slip grip that was applied to the pool deck where we tend to see water building up or where there's high traffic, which is around the shower area that's on the pool deck, and also around that shallow pool window where we tend to have a lot of kids and patrons actually that come in and out of the pool for programs. That's where they're walking through and sitting and waiting. So a lot of water tends to build up there. So we added this anti-slip grip to the pool deck to help hopefully prevent injuries and slippage. And then here are just some of the outstanding items that we're waiting to finish up. We're hoping to get some new railings put into the shallow and lap pool right by the stair area. So there's already an existing railing on the stairs. We're hoping to get a matching railing on the opposing side. So now you can have two railings to hold onto as you're going into the pools with at the stairs. We're hoping to update our emergency exit door over by the gallery. Again, we're waiting for those new pool deck speakers. And as I mentioned earlier, the new TVs, we're working with IT to get those up and running. And there's the picture of our pool cleaned up and ready to go with the brand new flags, brand new water.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. I just have to say too, a huge hats off and thank you to Amanda and her team. As you can see, there was a lot of small projects, a lot of larger projects on top of a massive project on the roof. The pool itself looked like a war zone some days, but her staff was there every single day, making sure everything was on time, making sure everybody was taken care of. On top of our full-time staff, we still had our part-time staff employed. at the pool. They were helping in cleaning, they were helping in organizing. There was a lot that we had to do on the technology side and our registration software to make sure that our new system Kaizen was up and running for the pool. So it was really a team effort led by Amanda. So, a huge thank you to Amanda. And I think both of us would be remiss if we didn't offer thanks to the building department, who were huge partners in this. They saw through everything, making sure everything stayed on time, making sure their contacts were being used and their staff was available when we needed. So all in all, as you saw, a very successful project, a lot done in just 2 short months. Felt like 2 days when we were in the thick of it. But we're thankful to the commission for the support in here in the town. So if anybody has any questions, Amanda's here to answer as well as myself.
I don't see any hands, but kudos to everybody involved. What a good use of 2 months of, I mean, it's really impressive how efficient you were and how you took care of so many small things, and makes us all proud, really, really nice job. And Carol wants to say something.
I just want to say it's really wonderful. It's great to be back in the pool, and all the things that Amanda talked about were wonderful improvements.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Carol.
Carol.
Thank you, Claire.
Yeah.
So,
I see no other hands. Oh,
Debbie.
Debbie, do you want to say something?
I too, I just wanted to say it's beautiful, and I really got so nostalgic because the pool is such a pivotal part of my life. I grew up here, and the pool, it was called the tank back then, and we walked to the tank and we went to the tank every day. They had free swim, and it was really such an important part of all my friends' lives that grew up here. So I just really got excited. It's really beautiful. And I'm sure that other children feel the same way, and adults that go and swim there feel the same way that are there. So really great job. It's just brought back so many really great memories. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Debbie. Lauren.
Thanks. Yes, I want to reiterate what everyone else said. It's really a great transformation and a really good use of time. And also I just think, that it emphasizes the importance and the value that the town and the department place on aquatics. For a lot of people it's a sport, but it's a survival skill. And the attention we've given to continuing the discounted and subsidized lessons to populations that normally couldn't get their kids swimming lessons. I mean, I feel like all of this is, particularly in times of, budget austerity, we have to be very thoughtful about where we put our resources. And I think anything that enhances the experience of the pool and encourages kids to learn to swim, and adults. I mean, my husband is somebody who never learned how to swim, who learned to swim as an adult, is really important. And, safety is paramount. So I applaud everybody who was involved in this effort. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim, you got anything else right now?
No, I think we're all set. Amanda, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night, Amanda. All right, the next item, moving right along, I wanted to remind everyone that we did draw up roles and responsibilities for Park and Recreation Commissioners I can't remember whether it was last year or the year before, but we wrote it all out, we edited it, we had people review it. And so I was looking at it the other day, and I realized it says that the chair and vice chair need to be nominated and elected every year, and that the chair and vice chair can't serve more than 5 consecutive years. And so being aware of that, I talked to Teresa and said, well, we better let the commission elect a chair and vice chair. Having talked to Teresa, I'm happy to continue. I think, and I know Teresa told me she's happy to continue as vice chair, but if there are other people who want to serve, who either want to nominate themselves or nominate other people, that certainly should be done. And so I'll leave the floor open for people to make comments, nominations, etc.
I'm just going to say, when I saw it on the agenda item, I was hoping you said what you said.
What did you say, Jane?
When I saw it on the agenda item, I was hoping you said what you said.
Oh.
So thank you for being willing, both of you, for being willing to continue.
Do we have to have a nomination?
It's my understanding, yes.
So do
Okay,
we
well,
need
I
to do?
nominate that Clara remain chair and that Teresa is the vice chair.
I'll second that.
I
Thank
think
you,
we have to
Jane.
do them separately. No, I mean, I'm
I
just
think it can be done as a slate.
either way. Okay.
I mean,
well,
if you don't like the slate, you could vote no, and then.
no,
we
no,
could-
I just thought it had to be two separate nominations. I might be wrong.
I
don't think
didn't
it
read it that way, and if
Okay.
I'm willing, I mean, I'm happy to have other people, if they want to vote on them separately. Does it matter to people?
I already seconded. I'm good with.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
so,
right.
so
You
we
d- oh,
do
you
have a
did.
motion on the
Okay,
floor.
sorry.
The motion on the floor, so if it's okay with everybody, I'll continue to call on people. Debbie,
Yes. Thank you.
Carol,
Yes,
Jane,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
and I vote yes also. So thank you all for your confidence. Thank you, Teresa, for
Yes.
willing to continue to, and we'll do it again next year.
And thank you both for being willing. I want to say that again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you,
know it's a lot of work, so thank you.
Thank you, Jane. All right, thanks. That was okay. Now we have a construction. We're ahead of the game. Construction update for Amory Playground and Schick Park, and I think Mili's going to do that.
Yes, that's correct. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mili Pradhan, Director of Parks and Open Space. And I'll provide a few updates on where things stand at the end of the construction season for Amory and Schick. So starting off with Amory, we were in construction over the summer last year, 2025, to fall, and again, like we made tremendous amount of progress with a lot of the work at the tennis courts done, including fencing, surfacing, irrigation, and also kind of creating the subgrade around for the paths surrounding the tennis course. We also completed a lot of the concrete work with adding new concrete stairs coming down from Amory Street around the tennis courts area, and also closer to the parking lot. The drainage for, again, like the parking lot and the surrounding areas is completed, and like I said, the sub-base work and the grading work for the pathways around the parking lot and for the parking lot is also completed. However, like we were hoping again that the weather will stay on our side and then we would be able to work through as much as possible. But yeah, as you all know, it got much colder, like much earlier in December this year. And at this moment, all site work is paused because everything, there's already a lot of frost there. And typically the final finish grade work that we have to do can't happen when there's frost. So it's all paused as of right now, and as soon as the ground thaws in spring, the contractor is going to be back at it. So some of the site work that remains at Amory Playground is, again, like I said, the final pathway paving, a lot of the planting, which would have happened in spring, regardless of where things stood in winter. Then loaming and seeding for the any of the disturbed areas like lawn areas. Then the tennis court final surfacing prep will also take place in spring, and also including the installation of nets and the windscreen for the tennis court. So again, as I mentioned, as soon as the ground thaws in spring, the contractor will be back at it, and again, pushing towards completion. So I just want to also give a brief update on where things stand with the boardwalk replacement at Amory Woods and Halls Pond. So at Amory Woods, we have completed the installation of helical piles, and we'll be now working on the installation of the boardwalk. And I wish, I'm just realizing now that I only have picture of Halls Pond here. I should have added more pictures, so I apologize for that. And for Halls Pond itself, there's again, the boardwalk work is ongoing, and luckily, the boardwalk installation, the woodwork, this is something that the contractor is able to do even in cold days. So as long as the temperature is, not below 20 degrees, like they're out there working through. So if you remember that cold patch later, I think in December, mid-December, the contractor were up there and, working really hard. So the work is ongoing, and they will continue working through winter to complete this, which really helps us put to a good place in spring. So at Halls Pond, however, you can see on the upper two images, that's what the boardwalk looks like, and that's the it's again, it looks absolutely wonderful, and we're super excited. This is just the installation of the decking right now, and they'll be working on adding the tow rails and also the dollar rails in some of the areas. But the construction for Halls Pond, the boardwalk, it hasn't been straightforward. So this is one of the overlooked areas here on the bottom left, where we've come across some issues with some of the joists and beams, rotting, and there being some issues with the columns, that's helical piles that's already there, but we've been working really closely with the contractor to come up with solutions, and also working with the structural engineer in the project to kind of help troubleshoot some of that. And similar to that, again, on the right side here, you'll see that as the contractors started to uncover the decking, we found issues below grade, and and then some of the issues included that the boardwalk was the slope of the boardwalk was not higher than 5%, which is not ADA accessible. And again, the whole point of kind of the reconstruction of the boardwalk at Halls Pond and Amory Woods is to make it ADA accessible. However, the contractor was able to again lift up some of the existing joists and beams and make that correction. So again, there has been some kind of minor adjustments here and there throughout the construction to make sure that everything is up to code and will be accessible. So again, we're super excited, and they plan to kind of work through, as I mentioned, the decking, and and then also we'll be installing the railings and toe kicks in the next couple of weeks. So I'll move on to Schick, and then we
But
can.
I have a question. I have a question.
Yeah, absolutely, sure.
No, could we go back? I didn't understand what you were just saying. My question is there going to be, I don't know what it's called, a lip along the edge of the boardwalk?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
What is that called?
That's called a toe kick.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, okay. There will be a lip over here. So it's just not installed in these pictures yet.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And then similar to Schick Park, again, same condition as in Amory. The site work is currently paused for the winter and will resume again back in spring. We've again completed a lot of work. If you remember back in summer, we were having a little bit of a delay in construction, but then things picked back up really rapidly towards late summer and fall. So we completed all the site walls. There's, if you are familiar with Schick, it's a really tiny park, but because of how the existing topography is we had to design, add a lot of site retaining walls, and everything is complete in terms of the retaining wall installation. Stairs are completed. We did, install the drainage. The fence posts surrounding the park are up, but like the actual kind of fencing is yet to be installed. And right now, again, similar to Amory, the installation of playground is not weather dependent. I mean, it is weather dependent, but like it's the freeze thaw doesn't affect the installation. So the contractor is currently installing the playground equipment. And again, like this is what it looks like, and we're super excited that this is really taking shape. So you can see here down below some of the part of the concrete retaining wall and part of the walkway. So similar to Amory for a couple of the walkways, the subgrade work is completed, but the final paving and finishing, the contractors will come back and complete in spring. So in addition to that, some of the site work that's remaining is the playground safety surfacing, and basketball court surfacing, and installation of the loop bath paving, all planting, irrigation, installation of pavilion, fencing, and furnishing. Luckily, we have like all those materials. The contractor has all of that on hand. So, again, like once the weather warms up, will be like full go time to get to completion. So I'll pause here if you all have any questions.
Amelia, I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
Schick Park the entire park is closed currently,
Entire
right?
park is closed currently. That's correct.
And at Amory, are the fields open and everything else closed, or is
Yes,
nothing open?
the fields are open. Fields are the only thing that's open, and the comfort station is also closed currently.
So the Green Dog program can go,
Yes, the Green
is-
Dog program has been open at Amory throughout the construction.
Thank you.
But the one at Schick is, suspended because the
Closed,
whole park
yes.
is closed.
I
Is
understand.
the parking
Thank you.
lot open at Amory?
Not right now, Carol.
Okay. Yeah.
It was open, through summer, most of the summer, but like once we started construction there, like it closed down.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, great. So that's all. If you all don't have any other questions on these.
I don't see any.
Okay, so I'll move, I think Greg's update is the next on the agenda, so I'll move
Yes.
right along to that. So as you all know that we have been receiving a lot of letters from the community on Greg's Park construction with concerns about the park closure and the community not having access to this important space, which is like essentially part of like a lot of people's like everyday life. So there's been concern that the park is going to be fully closed, and then the community will not have any access. And as a result, there was a lot of requests, which is included in the agenda packet on requests to keep the park open, partially open during construction. And with the volume of all the community support on the partial open, like we seriously took this very seriously and considered like, okay, what can we do? Is this even feasible? And this was also extensively discussed like during the Greg's Park design review meeting, which was held, I believe, on January 8th, Thursday of last week. So I'll give a super brief update on, specific to the construction closure. Some of the things that we considered in terms of, project phasing during construction was, we would really need to look at what the scope of work is and how that scope of work will be performed and how that affects safety. And just looking at the construction timeline overall, based on the same scope of work, and how would that impact the neighborhood on the long run throughout construction. Then the next thing we looked at was construction cost. Just like phasing, how will phasing have any effect on the construction cost, and which is also directly tied to now the construction workflow and efficiency in terms of economies of scale. And then we also thought about construction access and staging. Where do you access the park? And what we found out was that, like, based on what the dimensions of some of these existing openings, entries to the park is, like, essentially the southeastern end here is the only place like that the contractors could use for construction access. We also then dove really deep into what the scope of work, the actual scope of work is. So the 4 big buckets of work that will take place in the park is the playground, the pathway, the loop pathway around the perimeter of the park, planting, which includes invasive removals and new planting, and new kind of loaming and seeding for the new lawn, and a ramp here at the on the western end of the park, which we are trying to make ADA accessible. So with all of these, a lot of commonalities is, there's earthwork and grading that needs to be done. There's drainage work, there's a subgrade work, there's concrete work that needs to be done. And specific to playground, there's this play equipment installation that will take place, and the final safety surfacing. And again, final paving for the pathway, and planting, as I mentioned. So based on what the scope of work is, and really what the size of the park is, we ultimately came to a conclusion that there will be a lot of impacts of phased construction in terms of safety, because as soon as half or 3/4 of park is open, is closed, there will be, again, a lot of the conflicts going on here with any pedestrians or any park users that will be, in the remaining of the park, and because this will be a really active construction zone. And what we've seen is that even if the contractor has a temporary fence up, it's again a temporary fence, and we just felt given the size of the park and scope of the project, we did not have enough confidence to say that this is a good idea in terms of safety. What we've also realize is that, again, given the scope and size, the construction timeline is really going to be longer if it's phased construction. And if the construction timeline is longer, then there will be more disruption and impacts to the neighborhood. Because again, I think our goal and the neighborhood's goal is to try to get the construction completed as soon as possible. And as soon as you do a phase construction, you'd have to, for instance, the perimeter pathway, you'd have to do the same work twice. Whereas if it's done in a single time, like I mentioned, there's an economy and scale in terms of efficiency and construction workflow. And if it's phased and done twice or more times, then, because the contractor has to mobilize everything multiple times, that, immediately increases our cost. So again, with, we've had, again, extensive conversation internally within DPW with our landscape architects and engineers, and, our professional opinion was that Griggs is, not a contender for phase construction. But we also, again, at the same time, acknowledge, everyone's desire that, the construction be completed, as early as we can. And, and we also acknowledge that there's going to be quite a bit of disruption during construction, which is not great. So what some of the things that Tom can do to kind of help with this process is, we thought about, okay, what is the, how can we simplify the design, right? Like think about like as minimal footprint as possible to really bring the park up to code, because many parts of the perimeter pathway is not ADA accessible currently, and 2 out of 3 entries are not ADA accessible either. So how can we bring this up to code, and then also make sure that the construction timeline is kept to a manageable period. One other quick important item for us to consider is the project bid and award dates. So, as you all know, New England construction timeline on the outdoors is very limited. So from spring to essentially frost, right? So, in order to give us a head start, it will be very important for us to bid the project by end of this year and award the contract by winter of 2027. And that way the contractor can like really get a head start on spring start. And that also really helps them with my next point of the material procurement prior to groundbreaking, and make sure that they get a handle on long lead items, which is essentially the playground equipment. So if again the contract is in place by winter, the contractor can like order the play equipment, and we will make sure that is incorporated into their contract that they cannot break ground until there's a firm delivery date on the play equipment. So that way, we get the construction fence does not have to be up until like they're absolutely ready to break the ground. So that's where we stand at this moment. That again, there's been a lot of advocacy around Griggs, which is again like always like really, really great to hear and see the neighbors being so involved, and we really appreciate all the input on this. And but then given all these factors, we're at the point where we're absolutely not comfortable for phased opening. But like I said, there are things that we can do on our end to ensure that the timeline construction period is as short as possible. So that's it. Any questions from any of the commissioners?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there anything planned at, like, I know Schick will be wrapped up by the time Griggs starts, or at least I'm pretty sure. But
yeah,
at the other the nearest parks, like up Summit Ave, like, is there anything planned at the parks during this?
Yeah, so that's a really good point. Thank you so much, Michael, for raising that. Schick will be open, absolutely open by the time Griggs goes into construction. And Pierce Playground is the next closest park, and that would be open by the time Griggs goes to construction as well. And Schick has a green dog program as well. It's up the hill, might be hike for some of the Griggs neighborhood, but it has a green dog program.
Thank you.
Hey, I don't see any other hands raised. Do you see anyone, Clara? Okay, Clara, you're muted too. Oh, Teresa has her hand raised.
Teresa, go ahead. You're muted, Teresa. Teresa, you're muted if you are trying to talk.
Thank you. I needed to be made co-host again, but thank you, Jessica.
Oh.
I just wanted to chime in and say I think we've landed in a really nice place with Griggs Park, and And I really just love the new design that we were presented with and voted on at last week's meeting. So I think it's going to be worth the closure, and I'm excited for this for next year. But I know we still have a couple final meetings before we get to that point, but just wanted to share my appreciation for your team, Millie, and as we've been
I
moving
appreciate it.
along.
Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, it's been a very interesting process, and a really involved process. And Aaron Kramer, our landscape architect, has done a really, really wonderful job, like coordinating with all the public input and coordinating with the different playground vendors, manufacturers. So, we are in a really good place. And the next DRC meeting is going to be on March 5th. And depending on how that DRC goes and what the design review committee members vote for and suggest, like we might actually come back immediately to the commission the next week. Or we might come in April. So we're hoping that to come back in March, for presentations. I'm very excited to share the full design with everyone.
It has been a very robust design process, and I think you guys should be very proud of the Park and Open Space Division because they've done a really, really good job, as Teresa said. Thanks.
Yeah, and I really appreciate Clara, Teresa, Carol, and Jane for all your input throughout the design review process as well. So we're coming to a close. Very excited.
So now we're going to move on to the Lars Anderson Park skating rink update.
Yeah, and Tim, I can start, and please chime in. I just have a quick overview slide on this. So for the past few months, we have been working on the designer and OPM selection for the Lars Anderson Park ice rink. A design update or redesign, and again, like I really want to thank the building department, Lapian and Ray Masok on really getting the RFP out, and like going through the whole process of shortlisting the different candidates and again, like going through all the interview process. And I also really want to thank the Committee of Seven for, kind of giving up their personal time for the interviews and reviews of the proposals. And I'm very excited to share that, like, we now have our designers and the OPM who's going to be working on the project. So the designer that's got selected right now is Marianne Thompson Architects. And again, like they have a really robust kind of portfolio on historic preservation and experience on ice rink and like warming huts, and they're local and, really kind of well respected in the design industry. So we're very excited to have them on board. And similar to that, like for OPM, Accenture was selected, and they kind of like came with a really, really thorough and well put together presentation, and the committee members essentially kind of voted on selecting them. And again, Clara, Debbie, and Michael, you all were part of the Committee of Seven. Feel free to add on to this as well, in addition to Tim, if you have anything else to add. And anything to add before I move on to the next steps?
Not I. I don't see Debbie raising her hand. I don't.
I would just say that we're really excited. I was really excited to be a part of it, being new to the commission. And Marianne Thompson, the architect, they were so excited about working on Lars Anderson and really did their homework. And I think we made a really good choice with them. And the same with the center, although, really, yes, it was great. Thank you.
And I just want to add to, and not to jump a little ahead, because I know Millie's going to talk about the contract negotiation piece, but specific to Marianne Thompson Architects, Millie and I had a chance to already do a walkthrough with her and her entire team, as well as our colleagues in Parks and in Rec, to talk about the space, to have a very clear understanding of what we're looking to get out of the space, its current use, its future use. And for myself, I left that meeting feeling very, very confident. It was a very positive meeting. As Debbie just mentioned, they were very excited for the opportunity. They are actually going to be there this weekend at the Lars event because they want to see, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but they'll be there on site just with the public over the weekend, just getting an idea of how the space works. So I can tell right off the bat, they're very invested in making sure this is the best possible. So very, from my perspective in our department, very, very excited for Marianne and Accenture to be part of this.
Thanks,
I wanted,
Tim.
oh, go ahead. I wanted to say that, Amelia, you thanked everybody else, but I feel like we should thank you as well, because you and LAP, I think, did a really great job steering the whole process. So, and it was very fun and interesting to be a part of. Big learning experience for me. So thank you.
Thanks, Michael. So the next steps, as Tim briefly mentioned, is we're working on getting the final proposal from Marianne Thompson's team, and also a schedule. So based on what the proposal is, we will be looking into their scope and fees very closely to ensure that it's aligned within the budget that we have from the CBA grant. And then also the next step is going to be appointing a design review committee, and it will be a committee appointed by the select board. And as of right now, I really have no further information on what that is going to look like, except that we definitely know there will be minimum one person representing from the Parks and Rec Commission, Building Commission, Preservation Commission, and definitely members of the public. So that committee will be hopefully formed sometime within the next few weeks, and I'm pretty sure we'll be back again here on talking about who from the commission will be representing. Again, all very exciting and moving forward.
Thanks, Millie.
And I also want to mention that this was a really impressive collaborative RFP and selection process between multiple departments, from Parks and Open Space, Recreation, Building, Preservation, and planning. So it was really a huge collaborative team effort, and going forward, that's essentially what it will continue to be, as there's so many components, of each of these different divisions as part of the project. So thank you to everyone. Okay, so we'll stop at that.
So now that we're running a little ahead of time, but according to the agenda, the Recreation Department update. Amelia, you don't have any. You're done with you'll come back
as well. I'll go.
Yeah, you'll have an update, but all your individual items.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So the floor goes back to Tim now.
Thank you. This will be a brief one. Our biggest update really was the pool. So thank you for the additional time to get through that. But the updates are just really the other projects we have going on in town. But before we hit those projects, first and foremost, programming update. Just so everybody is aware, our summer programming opens for registration tomorrow, believe it or not. So we're thinking of warmer months ahead. So we have summer camp and summer vendors opening tomorrow at noon. Our staff is ready to go. We're excited for the public to join us. So again, this includes summer day camp, nature camps, our vendor programs, and then the return of the theater arts program through Brookline Adult and Community Ed, which I'll touch on in a little bit. So we are chugging along in the new year. The ice rink has been open for just over a month now. We opened on December 8th, so earlier last month. And it is doing very, very well because the weather is tremendous for making ice. So to date, we've had over 8,000 visits to the rink, and that is just open skate and public skate. So it's been very, very busy for our staff up there. Just about 6,000 of those have been residents, so it's being utilized great by the town. And we've been, like I said, we've been very lucky with the weather. We've had only 3 complete closures because of the rainstorms that we've had in the recent weeks. Luckily, over the school vacation period, we only lost 1 day to weather. So only 3 complete closures, which is really, really good. The temperatures have stayed relatively low. Or freezing for quite some time there, if you remember, before the new year. So it helped. And then we only had 4 partial closures. So this was, public skate was going great. We had rain in the evening, or it warmed up in the afternoon and the ice got a little soft. So only 4 partial closures there. In years past and in comparisons, this is very good. So we're having a really, really strong season. And hats off, as always, to the team up there, Josh and his crew, keeping that open 7 days a week, and Angel and the whole parks crew, making sure the ice is staying as great as it is. So, so far, so good. We got about a month and a half left in us. Who knows, maybe more, but we will go as long as we can. I want to give some updates on the drainage project at the golf course. If you've driven by, you're probably seeing the mounds of dirt get bigger and bigger and bigger. So just a few highlights of progress that we've made in this last month. Part of one of the bigger aspects of the course was daylighting and widening one of the drainage creeks that we already have on the course. If you're familiar with the course, it's between hole 4 and hole 6. The photo on the left is when we actually dammed the water. We were able to dig out, grade, and open up that site, that piece of the creek. And then the picture on the right was this week after the rainstorms that we had. So you can see that it's working because all the rain is now pooling and finding its way into that creek properly, and that creek is retaining all the water. So we're kind of seeing here and there when the weather warms up and when the rain comes in, that the work is beginning to have a difference. So real significant progress on that one. We were really excited to see that. As we moved over to hole 8, and we started daylighting the creek over there, we uncovered an old culvert that we knew was underneath there that we were going to remove, that we believe was broken. You can kind of see it. It's kind of hard to see with the dirt, but you can see this kind of incline of the pipe that's underneath. It was found to be pitched about a foot in the wrong direction. So when we found that, it was no wonder why all the water was flooding on that side of the course. So that was removed. Again, daylighting it, making it an open creek, in hopes to help all the drainage over there. So that was it's weird the things you get excited for in these type of projects, but when we found that as probably one of the issues that we've been dealing with for years and years and years, kind of gave us pause that what we were doing was necessary. So all good stuff out there on hole 8. Moving to the clubhouse, we began our CPA project that we received funding for this past budget cycle. And that's to remove and restore the historical windows that are on the front of the clubhouse. We have about $19,000 in funding for that. So those windows were removed the first week of January, and they are being worked on currently. And also inside, just like we did at the pool, we're taking advantage of our closure. We are just sprucing up and doing some restoration to the inside of the dining hall. We are sanding down all of the wood walls, refinishing them, repainting all the surfaces, looking at the bar area, repainting the bar, refinishing the bar, so that when it comes time for reopening the golf course, this gathering area will look top-notch. Quick update on adult ed that we always like to do every month. As we turn the year, we are continuing to grow. I know the wording's a little small, so I apologize. But the programs are growing and they're expanding in quantities. So just to run through them quickly, as mentioned before, BASE was the home to a summer theater arts program an 8-week program for kids to come in and work with one of the two of the instructors within the school system for theater. We're happy that we're going to be able to bring that back, bring back those employees as well. So we're looking forward to bringing back the theater arts program that opens for registration tomorrow. And then our programs just down the line. Our photography program continues to grow. We'll be introducing more photography classes, as well as open darkroom studio time. So anybody who may not be interested in a class but wants access to a space like that, we're opening it up for them to come in and do their own work. We're doing the same model at woodworking. So we're reopening the woodworking shop this season for classes, but also just holding open woodworking for anybody who wants to come in from the public and work on their own projects, which has been practiced in the past. So we're excited to again bring those staff members back in to join us. We have our evening yogas, our morning yogas, our watercolor and acrylic painting classes at the Senior Center continue to fill and grow. Our Pilates classes are continuing to fill and grow. We have multiple ESL classes that we'll be introducing at this turn of the year. Our jewelry making program and that instructor we were able to bring back, so that will be restarting. Weekday and weekend ceramics is exploding, so we're looking forward to further expanding that and looking at our options there. Drawing, Mahjong, Canasta, Tai Chi, and improv classes coming back. So through and through, just an incredible, again, growth of the program as we turn the calendar year with Meredith in-house. And as always, we're just excited to see that continue. 2 points I just want to make note of. Brookline Adult Ed and the Rec Department were recipients of a Mass Cultural Council grant in relation to the adult ed program of $17,000. It's an unrestricted grant, so it can go to support either salaries or programming in this transition, which we knew going into it would be a huge help. So we were very happy to see that and very thankful to the MCC for their support there. And then just a note that on the 22nd, I was invited to the school committee meeting. So I will be there making a presentation about this transition with adult ed to rec, kind of illustrating its success, how the MOU that we have with this program is really working with access to the schools, and just really getting a chance to highlight really that we were able to keep this program running, and the program is growing. So again, as I've said every month, all good things with adult ed continues to grow. And then 2 upcoming events I just want to point out. One, we're going to be holding an open house over at Sewell. We do have space in our early education program, so we'll be holding an open house for the public if anybody's looking for childcare choices on February 18th. If you go to our website, you can sign up for an individual time slot to come join the teachers, tour the facilities, learn about the program, and see if it's the right fit for you and your family. And then this Saturday, the 17th, starting at 5, it's the 3rd annual Lars Under the Stars. The Friends of Lars Anderson will be hosting this event. They were kind enough to allow us to help sponsor it this year, where they will be having skating lessons as well as figure skating performance. And then also a special guest with Tenley Albright, who is the first U.S. woman to win gold in the Olympics. She will be there as well, recognizing her and her achievements. So the weather is looking perfect for an outdoor night of skating. Again, we're thankful that we can be a part of it here at the Rec Department, and it's shaping up to be a really good night. So if anybody's around and wants to check it out, again, starting at 5 o'clock, it is free. The whole event is free. If you want to skate rentals are free. Come on by, enjoy the time with us. And that's all I had.
Oh, I have a question.
Tim, I see Carol has a question. I also have a question, so go ahead, Carol.
Sure.
Tim, you had on your slide about the adult education, which on the right-hand side of that slide, it showed, I don't know whether it was a flyer. I was hoping it's a booklet that, that's available to the public.
Yeah, it's just a flyer. It's digital. Unfortunately, we won't be producing the physical booklet just for financial reasons right now. But no, that was just a digital flyer that we put out.
I hope that will change in the future.
I know.
Okay.
So Tim, I have a question about the golf course. Are they continuing to dig in this weather? I mean, do
Yeah,
they have
so-
any issue with soil and stuff like that?
No, so the cold weather is really helping us. We were at about a 4-inch frost, which is allowing all the excavators and heavy machinery to move about the course a lot easier. So we've been actually taking advantage of the cold weather, and the construction team actually put a secondary crew on as well to help speed up. We are entering, per the timeline, a phased just break over the winter. As I'm sure you know, Clara, we want to give the construction crews and everybody a chance to rest. But no, the weather's been helping us actually, and the work's been continuing. So we'll probably see some downtime in the coming weeks, but outside of that, we're right on schedule.
And then the other thing I wanted to mention is I actually went cross-country skiing at the golf course. It was great, but
Good.
you hadn't opened. It's my understanding that the town now owns skis, and so I was there in end of December, and I think when it snows, the skis and rentals will be available starting now. Is that correct?
Yep, the pro shop is completely changed over. So we have skis, we have poles, helmets, whatever you may need. So it's kind of turned into a rental shop as well. So if you do need it, come on down.
Well, we need the snow, and then
That
we
too,
can.
yeah.
And if it snows, will it just be open on weekends, or will it be open on weekdays?
So it'll be open on weekdays. We have limited hours on the weekends. If we have a significant snow and enough that trails will be groomed, we'll staff it accordingly. So it'll be open on the weekends. So it's all dependent on the weather. Right now, the staff is a 5-day-a-week, Monday to Friday. But again, if snow is on the ground and we know it's going to be open to the public and folks will be out there skiing, it'll be staffed.
And that'll be, we can go online and.
Right.
If we get snow one of these days, we can
Yeah.
find. Okay, thank you.
Of course.
All right, now we have a Park and Open Space update from Millie.
Hey, back, happy to be back again, presenting our updates. So I'll start with our staffing update. We still have currently one open position for forestry supervisor. So again, like this one has been one of the tough ones, but we are hopeful and we'll keep looking. A few other project updates for the ones that are under design and documentation. Just want to provide a brief update on Monmouth Park. And we are, again, like anticipating to bid that project in February. So essentially the rest of the park will now be upgraded and hopefully like once it's out to bid this February, end of January, February, we hope to start construction in spring. Similar to that, like Skyline, we're making progress and moving towards 100% CDs with, again, hoping to shoot work on hearings in late winter. So again, a lot of work ongoing with those. Just a quick reminder that the 2026 Green Dot Program renewals began back in December and it's still ongoing. So, a lot of the renewal applications have been trickling in, and Kira, our visitor services manager, has been doing a really great job managing that, and just again reminding that's still going to be open through winter. And Kira also led a really amazing first day hike on January 1st. It was a bit colder and snowed that day, so the turnout was much smaller than anticipated. But again, people showed up, and it was a really wonderful day to be outdoors, and a true wonderland. And really, it was a very, very short update this time, and that is essentially it on my end. Any questions?
I don't see any. So do we have updates from Park and Recreation Commission subcommittees? I can't remember, Millie and Tim, did we have some we were going to update on? I mean, I can update on the Community Preservation Act committee that's moving forward. And we're going to talk this, I think this Monday, there have been some issues with the historic bridges in the Olmsted Park. And so that's going to be discussed. That's all I can really say about those now. There's some issues that have come up, but we're reviewing everything, and the meetings are all open to the public, and Park and Open Space have proposals out that we've reviewed already. So that the Community Preservation Act moves ahead, so that the goal is to have these proposals for grants. We have to approve them. We have more grant proposals than we have money to give out. So something's going to have to be cut or trimmed. And then we have to put together a list of the projects and how much we want to fund them. And that has to be approved by town meeting. So that's where that is, if anyone's curious. Any other committees people want to update on? Did I leave anything out, Millie or Tim?
No, the only other one was the ice rink, which we talked about.
Yes, yeah. All right. Anyone have any other business that they would like to raise? Carol.
I just have a comment. In early January, I forget the date, Autumn from the Recreation Department did a tour of the Audubon tree collection. And, it was freezing cold. She was absolutely sensational. I have never been on one of her trips before, but I mean, she was a perfect leader. And I think she should be congratulated on the work that she's doing.
Thank you, Carol. I'm happy to pass that along for sure.
That's nice, Carol, that you could report on that.
Yeah.
Any other words? Oh, Carol, you have your hand raised again.
Oh,
but
no, I forgot to lower it. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right. Thanks everyone for coming. Amanda, thank you for your presentation. Thanks Tim and Millie for your great leadership. And do I have a proposal, do I have a motion to adjourn? Come on, guys.
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. That was moved by Carol and seconded by Debbie. And I think we have to give a voice vote because we're on Zoom. So here's how I see you on the screen. Debbie.
Yes.
Carol.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Jane.
Yes.
Teresa.
Yes.
And a second vote. And Lauren. Lauren, you're muted. Lauren, you're muted and you may not be there. Okay, and then the chair votes aye. So we are adjourned. Thank you all for attending for a very efficient meeting. A lot of good information this meeting. So happy New Year to everyone, and I'll see you in February, if not before.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Bye.